Welcome to Kenect the Dots, a podcast where we unlock the stories that connect each and every one of us. Hosted by me, Zach Day, in partnership with Kenect Nashville. How do you connect?
How do you connect? Welcome back, folks, to another episode of the fabulous podcast, Kenect the Dots, with me, your host, Zach Day. It's an honor, as always, to be here, coming to you live from Phoenix, Arizona today at the Kenect Phoenix apartment complex. I love it here. I've been in Phoenix now for a few weeks, and it's been really, really fun. For those of you who are joining me today, I want to introduce my special guest for the podcast episode this week. We've got Roxy the Karaoke Queen here. Hi, Roxy.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me, Zach. I'm happy to be here.
Well, thank you for doing this, and I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to come speak to us over here at the Kenect the Dots podcast. How have you been? How's your morning?
It's been good.
It's afternoon where you're at.
Yeah, it's afternoon. It's hot. I was going to say you're in Arizona. How hot is it where you are right now?
It's so hot. It's so hot. I'm like, wait, I want to see. It's 100 right now. So
we're similar then. But like in all the fall stuff's coming out, but it's like, no, I want to hold on to summer, but fall's coming. But no, morning's been good. Got a workout in. Got karaoke later today. It's all good things.
Nice. Good. Okay, that's great. Yeah, same here. I mean, haven't gotten the workout in yet. I'm gonna try to do that, but. Bro, it's Friday. You know what I mean? I've been having a week. I've been busy, but you know, I'm so glad it's Friday. And you got any big weekend plans?
Just karaokeing all weekend. So like because of my schedule working more nightlife, Friday's kind of like more like my Monday. Okay. And like now my week is just starting, whereas everyone's like kind of winding down. I'm like, okay, let's turn it up.
That makes sense. Yeah. Okay. That's so true. I mean, you know, I'm a musician myself. I'm a full-time musician, and I'm out here just doing my thing. So, but I'm not doing any gigs this weekend. I do go to LA on Monday, so I've got like a lot of stuff coming up. September's packed for me. I know it's packed for you too, so I can't wait to get into all of that.
Yeah, I'm so excited.
So, Roxy, why don't you just introduce yourself a little bit? Tell us about who you are, how you got to where you are, where you're from. Give us the 411 on Roxy the Karaoke Queen for those who may not know who you are right now.
Oh, goodness. So Roxy was something I actually created in the essence of Roxy's my alter ego. My real name's actually Rachel. Huh? Say it again?
It's drag, you know, in a sense.
It's fun. So I used to work in corporate America. I was a sales consultant working in New York, and then when COVID happened, I think everyone had a moment where they really questioned what they were doing with their lives. And I had a big one of my own self-identity and self-discovery. So I made the decision to basically restart and say, I'm going to just leave everything behind and start anew. And I traveled around the country for about 8 months, living off my savings. I drove from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania to LA to Oregon. That's my hometown is Pittsburgh, but the last about decade of my life, I've lived everywhere from New York to LA to Chicago. I lived in a tent in Oregon for a little while. That was a fun chapter.
Bet you have some crazy stories from that.
Oh, I'm chock full of stories. It's hard. So when people are like, oh, well, tell me about you, it's like even the bio that you asked me to type up was kind of like, oh, how do I sum all this up? But fate landed me here in Nashville in 2022, and it's just been a roller coaster fun ride since.
So you've been in Nashville for going on 3 years now, I guess, right?
Yeah, 2022, so a little bit over 2.5 years now.
Nice. Wow. Okay, cool. So you live in Nashville?
Oh, I love Nashville. Nashville is actually one of the first places I've ever been where I actually see myself setting roots. I've always moved like every 2.5 years. I'm either doing a new job, a new location, new whatever. And now I've grounded in here. I go, no, this is home. And it's a very new chapter for me to be like, you're setting roots here.
Wow. Yeah, no, I mean, that's kind of how I am too. That's just, I don't know. It's interesting for people like me and you. It's like, if you do find somewhere that you're like, oh my gosh, you know what, actually I want to kind of, place some roots here, it's pretty rare. Because I'm like the same way. I'm always on the go. I'm moving every couple years. And I'm kind of getting to the point now where I'm like, I'm ready to kind of like chill out for a second because I'm 30. So I'm like, I'm ready to just like, I don't want to move around anymore. But that's just not really the life that I lead. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm
Hey,
kind of
I
like
get it. I'm 35.
Yeah.
I bounce all around.
We're free birds, you know what I mean?
Yes.
It's just a total opposite of, you know, some people that I know. So sometimes, like, you know, my sister or my friends and my family back home, I'm like, you know, that's kind of cool that you have like a really, you know, kind of constant, consistent lifestyle, where mine is sporadic and I never know where I'm going to be in a couple weeks or whatever. Sometimes that's good. Sometimes, you know, I don't know. Grass is always greener on the other side, I guess. You know what I mean? But
Exactly. I think it's just more of like following what feels good for you as an individual, and then building and growing upon that. Because I have a bunch. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're fine. I'm not meaning to cut you off. I was just going to say, I mean, like, going back to your, like, the corporate world, and like, that's probably like, you were probably doing that and just thinking, God, I don't want to do this anymore. This is not for me. Or was that the case?
Actually, you know what? I loved it until I didn't. If that makes sense. Like, I had this vision in my head of I wanted to climb the corporate ladder. Like typical millennial kind of raising. You go to school, you go to college, you graduate, you get the job, you start to climb the corporate ladder. And I was doing that. It was also, that was my community, was my work. It was my community, going to the office every day, doing all that. When COVID happened and we all went to remote, I'm single, no kids, no pets. So I went from community, people around me, to solitude.
Oh, yeah.
And it really made me realize, I go, what am I doing with my life? Like, and then they kept saying, we're going to go back to the office soon. We're going to go back to the office soon. I go, I can't keep waiting to live my life based on what you're telling me.
Right.
So that's when I made the plans and the decisions that I did that have led me to where I am today. And I'm very grateful for it. I mean, if you would have asked me at the time, I probably would have said, oh yeah, 9 to 5, meh. Like, I probably would have shut it down, but it did serve a purpose. It was a business arrangement of, I'm going to give you my time, effort, and energy in exchange for this. And then when it ended, I remember I actually wrote down on a Post-it note, do not apologize. You have nothing to apologize for. And I like created this little like speech of, I've now have decided that the time, effort, and energy that I've put into this job is no longer worth the personal and financial gain. Today is my last day.
Wow.
And then it was just like, start something new. Woke up, I'll go, okay, what's going to happen now?
Wow. Yeah, that's so interesting. So growing up and even during that time of your life when you were working in the corporate world and stuff, were you always kind of drawn to music? And I mean, I feel like obviously you come across to me as a very bubbly personality, a people person, someone who enjoys being like, you know, performing and stuff like that. You really do give me that energy. I mean, I kind of am more of, I feel like I'm an introvert, but I don't know, people might say otherwise. I feel like I am. I don't know about you, but I'm just curious if, like, you know, while you were doing the corporate stuff, were you also like had this artistic and creative side to you, or was that totally new when you started doing that?
I want to say it's totally new, but I think what it really was, because it's not totally new. When I was a kid, I would literally go down to my parents' basement and I would plug in my microphone and I would sing Britney Spears, Beach Boys, Backstreet Boys in the basement. I had the original Backstreet Boys cassette tape for the younger audience members who don't know. Cassette tapes used to be a thing.
Right. Oh my God, that's so funny because my first album was the Britney Spears "Hit Me Baby One More Time" record on cassette tape. So I get you.
You get it. But so I used to perform, like, just do little things in my parents' basement, and then I did a little bit of theater here and there in high school and college, but then basically, like, later half of my college years, I really had a really deep depression, and it was really dark. It was not a good time in my life. But I slowly was introduced to self-development, self-help, and went to different seminars that really helped me grow into like who I am today. So it really is this big mindset change. So I do have a social battery that gets very low very quickly, but I have to dedicate time to making sure I can bring my all for things like this when I'm working, when I am Roxy. Roxy's kind of this bit of this alter ego persona that I put on that is the party animal. She's crazy, she's fun, she's everything. Behind it all, I'm a businesswoman first and foremost when it comes to creating this brand and this business. But I absolutely love it because it's fun. It's really, really fun. So I love performing. But it is a new thing for me to really embrace being able to sing and host, and I just love every part of it.
That's so cool. I mean, that's just a really interesting story that you to be able to go from one kind of extreme to the other in a totally opposite kind of world. But it's not necessarily, I mean, it is opposite, I guess, but there's probably things that you've taken from the corporate world into what you're doing now with the business side of things. And, you know, I don't know. I mean, you could probably speak to that, but I know that's the same thing for me. I mean, as an artist, you have to be able to, you know, brand yourself and be on, and it is a bit of an alter ego. You gotta be able to turn it up, but you also gotta turn it off to be able to prioritize you as a soul, as a being. We are really just souls in bags of skin and bone floating on a rock in the middle of the universe at the end of the day. Yeah. Like, that's what we are. It's really creepy if you think about it. I'm like, I don't know. I get a little existential sometimes. I'll be sitting there thinking, well, I guess we're all just, you know, bones at the end of the day. Yeah.
We're all just these spiritual beings that everything's just kind of running around as we want, and it's our choice to decide: are we going to have it make it? Are we going to look at things in a good perspective, or are we going to put some clouds over it? Like, we have that choice. The sun is always shining, even beneath the clouds. You just got to remember that.
Yeah, I do gotta remember that. I need to make sure to think about that whenever I get down or get in my existential mode. I will have a crisis every now and then. So let's talk about kind of how you how you started doing like the DJing and the music stuff. So I guess when you were traveling around and living in all these different places and living in a tent in Oregon and all this other stuff, were you kind of discovering who Roxy was during that time?
No, that was okay. So my real name, my given name is Rachel, and how the name Roxy came about was, it was a joke that when Rachel got turned up, she becomes Rochelle, who becomes Raquel, and all bets are off when Roxy comes out. Okay. So it was just this joke. How I got into the DJing was when I first moved here to Nashville. I moved here on a gut feeling. I would like to say that maybe the seed was set from a conversation I had when I was in LA with a friend who now actually lives here. Okay. But I came here, gut feeling, never been, no friends, no family. I'm like, just something says I'm supposed to be in Nashville. I was living here for a few months, and then I went to Miss Kelly's karaoke bar because I love karaoke. I've loved karaoke since I was a child. And I wanted to sing A Whole New World from Aladdin. But you have Jasmine and Aladdin. And I needed an Aladdin. So I turned to the DJ at the time, who is JC. He's also known as DJ Yeti. He's the primary karaoke DJ on Friday and Saturday nights, who has now become my not only mentor, but one of my best friends here. I turned to him, I go, will you be Aladdin? And he goes, yeah, sure. We sang a song. I told him I'm brand new here. You probably see me again because I really like karaoke. We exchanged numbers, and a year later, he texted me. He goes, do you want to learn how to do this? And I go, yeah, I'd love to learn how to do it. Next thing you know, I'm working 4 days a week at one of the bars downtown as a karaoke host, as Roxy the Karaoke Queen.
That's so fun. Oh my God, I love that. I've never been there you said it's called Miss Kelly's Karaoke?
Miss Kelly's Karaoke Bar is the spot. It is so much fun. It's in the heart of Printer's Alley, which is just a hop, skip, jump away from Broadway. You can walk there. And what I like to say about Miss Kelly's is that it really, truly is your local dive bar without needing to be a local.
Okay, right. So, like, Printer's Alley is a pretty, is kind of like a touristy place, part of Nashville. A lot of people come down there that don't live there necessarily. And I bet that, because I've played Alley Taps before, I think that's at
Love Alley Taps. I love Wednesday nights there with Natasha Graycloud and Sean Mayer. If you've ever seen them, they're amazing.
Okay, slay. Well, shout out to them. I've played there a few times, but yeah, I never knew about Miss Kelly's being down there. But like, I don't know, Printer's Alley is a really cool place because you've got people that are coming down there that are like, hey, like, this is an iconic part of Nashville. We want to like visit, and we want to see live music, or we want to do karaoke, or we want to get some good food or whatever. So that's really cool. I'm gonna have to go check it out next time I'm down there. That sounds really fun. I did karaoke a couple times at, oh my God, what's it called? It's like downstairs at the Graduate.
Oh, Oh, I know what you're talking about.
It's fun. They
I'm
have, like, the
blank. I've never been there
animatronics.
before. I know which one you're talking about. They have
You
like
should go there.
animatronic things, like
Yes.
like old, like kind of creepy Chuck E. Cheese stuff.
Yes, 100%. It's giving Five Nights at Freddy's. Definitely creepy, but it's really fun. I've done that one a few times, but karaoke for me, I get really like nervous doing karaoke. I'm not gonna lie.
You would be. Here's the thing. A lot of people do. And you are not alone in that. I can't tell you how many times I have people come up and they go, oh, like, I'm so nervous, or they talk down about themselves. And
Right.
I'm your DJ. I'm here to back you up. And I try to do as much as I can to encourage them. Like, listen, the whole point of karaoke, the entire concept is to have fun. Music brings
Right.
people together. You don't have to be perfect. You don't even know how, you don't even have to sing. As long as you just have a blast up there, that's all that matters. That's the energy that gets fed, and the cheering that comes from people you don't even know. It's amazing. It's so much fun.
Right. I guess, I don't know. I always try to remember that too. It's like the most important thing is it's just supposed to be fun. It's not like,
Not serious.
this is not I'm on the clock right now. This is supposed to be fun,
Yeah, exactly.
But-
I think people kind of get worried about it. Go, no one cares.
Right.
They just
No one
want you to
cares.
have a good time. I want you to have a good time. You should want to have a good time. So just embrace that and just just enjoy a moment.
Yeah. I think that as a professional musician who that is my job, sometimes it's hard to separate karaoke and just having fun and going up there and singing or whatever. Separate that from like, performing as your job. And so like that's
It does kind of feed in with one another if
Yeah.
you're performing, because I sing as well, and so anytime I get up there, it's like I'm gonna give it a shot, and if a note goes flop or I crack or something, I'm like, it's karaoke, no one cares.
right, it's karaoke. Yeah,
Just keep
so,
on
like,
going.
Most of the time if I do karaoke, I'll have like one song that I'm like, okay, I know I sound good on this one. Whatever key it's in, I normally sound pretty good in this key. It's Valerie by Amy Winehouse, by by the way. So like that's my
great
kind of like
song.
that's my go-to for like if I'm gonna try to sound good. But if I'm like drinking and I'm like, let's just go up there and let's just like I'll do like super bass or like Talking Heads or something like something totally like off the wall rapping or something like just
Love it.
or
It's
Fergalicious.
great to have a big repertoire in there.
Yeah, because I'm like, I'm not really trying to sing, but I do want to go up there and have fun. Or I'll do like show tunes. Like me and my sister will always do Rent. Like we'll do like something from Rent. Or
Oh
Rocky
yeah,
Horror
Rent is a
Picture
great
Show.
one. Wicked.
Yeah, well they'd be singing on there.
Oof, they do. Oh, but it's all just about. I think what is it? A lot of things from High School Musical.
Oh yes.
People do High School Musical a lot. They'll occasionally do like the other like duets like Summer Lovin' or
Yes. Grease.
but
Yeah, oh my
it
gosh,
really
that's
is. It's
good.
just about having fun.
Well, what would you say the key is to being a great karaoke host?
So I think it's identifying where you have the most fun and where you feel like you're most comfortable. So for example, my mentor who I mentioned earlier, JC, him and I are stark opposites.
Okay, interesting.
I'm more of the personality in the sense of happy-go-lucky, like, oh, come on up, like that's my energy that I bring to it. Whereas there are other karaoke hosts that focus more on the actual art of DJing, which is definitely an art form that is cultivated and grows through time. So when it comes to hosting, it's really just making sure, no matter what your primary, what's the word I'm looking for, skill is,
Yeah.
that the show is not about you, it's about the audience. It's
Okay.
about the person on the stage. It's about creating an entire environment, because this isn't your typical karaoke bar. I'm used to like, go into like a small town and you got like your regular karaoke. No. This is Nashville. No, it's a full-blown club. A nightclub where people are dancing, turning up, having a blast, bachelor parties, bachelorette parties, birthdays, just people coming in and visiting from out of town who they want to let go of where they've been in life and just kind of let loose a little bit. Cultivating an environment where it's safe to do that and also really fun and creates that sense of community, that is the main focus of being a good karaoke DJ.
I love that. So wait, you do it like 4 nights. Are you still doing 4 nights a week at Miss Kelly's, or where are you at right now? Where can we find you?
What's the scoop? Yes, I am at Miss Kelly's Karaoke Bar. I am currently their opening KJ karaoke DJ on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from 3 to 8. And then I'm also their Tuesday night karaoke. So I start at 7 o'clock and we go to 3 a.m.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. So you're up late.
Oh yeah, I don't wake up till like mainly like 11 or noon most days. I'm definitely on this like nightlife. Nightlife is a lifestyle.
Right.
That maybe not everyone understands or appreciates, but when you really embrace it, it's like, no, there's a really big community in working in nightlife, which I absolutely love.
Yeah, I mean, when I lived in Nashville for a while, I was like, I don't know. It's difficult for me to play gigs until like sometimes 4 and 5 in the morning downtown Nashville on Broadway and stuff. Like I never did that because I was like, no, I can't do that. But I knew people that their whole job is just, we play down here on Broadway 4 nights a week. We don't finish until 4 or 5 in the morning. We sleep all day, and then our day starts at like 7 p.m. or whatever. And I'm just like, that's crazy.
The work week starts on Friday, and your day doesn't start till like noon or 1 o'clock.
Yeah, that's insane. I mean, I could never do that, but you know what? More power to those who do, and I respect it. I wish I could sometimes, but it's just not part of my...
I used to be a 5 a.m.er. When I did the corporate thing, I was a 5 a.m.er at the gym. I was in bed by 9. Like, I did the other lifestyle. Mm-hmm. And now it's like redesigning, how do I live a healthy lifestyle working nightlife? It's been a learning.
Well, like you already said, you've been at the gym this morning, whatever. And I'm just like, that's impressive because, okay, so I used to work at Starbucks, like when I was in college, and I'd have to get up and open. And that's like, I'm having to wake up at like 4 in the morning or 3:30, 4 in the morning, and I'm off work by like 11 a.m. And then I'm like, what am I supposed to do? I would just go back to sleep. It's really hard. You have to figure out your routine, I guess, what works for you. So I'm glad you've got it figured out. You got it down to a science now, huh?
I mean, I'm working on it. It's a constant learning curve. I've learned different things that I need to do to prioritize my physical health, my mental health, and my spiritual health, and just making sure that I prioritize those aspects in order to be able to give it my all every day, even though that giving all looks different every day.
Right. Well, we'll definitely get to that because that's a big part of this podcast too, is trying to find that balance and maintaining that. So I'm going to definitely circle back to that. I'm kind of curious about too, like the technical side of being a karaoke DJ. I mean, it's probably a lot more than people may expect. Like people may think you're just, I don't know. I just feel like looking like a host is part of it as well. Just like being up there, being comfortable. But at the same time, people need to remember that like you're running this night. You've got it, like the power is in your hands. So like, you're having to not only run sound probably and like, I don't know, like, setting up equipment and microphones and stuff like that. Like is that something that you have to do as part of your job as well?
Yeah. So, I mean, it also depends on the venue and who I'm working with. So for example, if I'm at Miss Kelly's Karaoke Bar, we are the sound technician, we're the lights, we're also the music. We handle all that. We also have to take in songs while we're managing all this at the same time.
Right.
And also creating the vibe because when I was first starting out, and it still happens to today, but when I was first starting out, it's like, okay, well, what song do I play next? That's always what's going through my head is like, someone is playing a song right now. Let me see who the crowd is. Let me just try to see like where are they coming from? Are they coming from international? Are they coming from the South? Are they coming from the West Coast? What kind of vibe are they going for? Are they corporate? Are they wanting to turn up and get dirty and nasty with themselves? Like, I don't know, but that is like what you have to kind of figure out and then find a song that flows from where you are into that. Because if not, there have been times where someone chooses a karaoke song and I've actually had to tell them no because I'm like, that's going to kill my room. That's going to have everyone leave. It's going to have everyone depressed. Please don't sing that.
Oh, I love that.
Like, if you really wanted to, I'll let you, but please don't.
Yeah.
But including the music.
Oh, yeah. I was going to ask you about that because I'm like, I'm sure there's probably people who come up and say, they want to sing this song and then somebody else comes right up behind them and tries to do the same song or something like that. Like, I bet there's just so much more work that goes into it than people probably realize. And it's all about cultivating a vibe for the entire night or whatever. And so like, I don't know, that's so interesting. I love to hear about that. do you have tips for, or just like, I don't know if you want to share your secrets about how do you stay organized? Do you keep like a physical list that you write down of the night, of the songs, list an order of songs, or do you do it all like on your phone, or is there like a program set up for you? How do you maintain that organization during your nights?
Great question. So when using karaoke, different things, I use a program called Virtual DJ. And
Okay.
Virtual DJ is one of the best ones for karaoke itself when you physically own the karaoke files. And there's actually a section in the program where someone says, oh, hey, Zach wants to sing this song. I can actually create the lineup in my computer that tells me this person's next, this person's after this person, and line it up, and actually will tell me roughly like what time it's going to happen too. So that way, when I get close to like 2 a.m. in the morning and people want to keep signing up songs, I can tell them, listen, I'm going to close right now. I'm done taking.
Okay, interesting. Okay, that's interesting. See, never knew that even existed. That's cool. As a karaoke host too, I was wondering about like what you do if you notice somebody on stage that's either like really shy or maybe struggling to get through the song. Maybe they're like messing up really bad or something like that. Like as a host, like, do you offer to help? Do you just let them have their moment? What do you do when there's a situation like that?
There have been times where there's someone on the stage and they sign up for the song and they only know the chorus.
Right. Yeah.
They only know the chorus. And so there are times where I have stepped up and I've tried to help out where I can. But also, like, I'll turn down my volume. It's not about me, but I'm just here to give that extra support and just add to the atmosphere, not take anything away. So I will step in and I'll help out once in a while if needed. But if I don't know the song, honey, it's all you. You're the star.
You pick
If I don't,
this.
like, I'll try to help out. Like, I've had people like, will you help? I go, I don't know the song. Like,
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I don't know it. I mean, I don't know what I don't know. I know a lot when it comes to songs, but I don't know everything.
Yeah, I bet like though that you probably know more songs than your average Joe. Like especially because you've probably heard pretty much every song ever written at this point. At least heard it, you know what I mean?
A lot. I will say there are some. Well, because I didn't really do anything really with music until I started being a DJ. I have also learned songs strictly because of karaoke. I don't think I ever heard the song "Goodbye Earl" before I did karaoke, and now I know it like the back of my hand. I wasn't a country person before I moved to Nashville, and I'm still kind of like, I like a little bit here and there. It's good. Too much of it, I need to.
Can't
switch it
deny
up a
that
little
"Goodbye Earl" is the great song though.
bit. Yes, as my mentor says, let's sing about felonies.
Yeah, there's a lot of those songs. Have you ever had a technical disaster happen during a karaoke night?
Oh, absolutely.
Do
Absolutely.
you have anything specific that you want to share and how you recovered from that? If you have anything that comes to mind.
It was honestly, it was one of my, so Miss Kelly's just recently started doing the day shifts, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And we did a trial on a Saturday. It was the first time we ever did it. First time really there as a karaoke host because I didn't have any spots there at the time, and this was kind of like my audition. Had an entire bar going. It was exciting. Everyone was having a good time. Someone hit something and everything went black. Everything. Lights, sound, music, everything, just all the electricity just
flip the
gone.
breaker, honey.
Oh my God. I'm like, oh, I don't know what to do. And fortunately, my mentor was there and he like was able to fix it. And actually it happened a few more times after that, not that night. But I'm like, wait, I know what to do now. So I'm like,
Right.
and eventually I would get the music back on. I'd turn to everyone and go, y'all having a good time? And they go, wow. I go, yeah,
Right.
just hang on with me. Make sure you get some Jello shots, get another drink at the bar. We're going to be with you in just a second. So just keeping that crowd engaged. Or I've also yelled at them like, okay, everyone at the count of 3, yell out where you're from. 1, 2, 3. And then just a wave of hearing people. And if I can pick out one city, I'm like, hey.
Right.
So,
Oh my gosh. You've got more people like skills than I do because I just would be like, girl, I don't know that I couldn't do it.
I think my sales background helps me because I have over a decade of sales experience. That definitely helps.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's so interesting. Have you ever had a moment where you've been, on the clock and somebody gets up there and I don't know, have you ever witnessed a karaoke performance that has just like been like, wow, completely blew you away?
Oh yeah.
And if you have anything that's come to mind, like I would love to hear a story about that. If you can think of anyone or a song, or you're like, wow, you really killed that.
Oh, there was. I actually got it on film, and I should repost it again. But it was a girl who was singing "Zombie" by the Cranberries, and that entire bar just was singing along with her, and it was just this beautiful moment of all of these strangers coming together that don't know each other, but they're just having a good time, all singing together. And probably the other one that I really liked, I was behind the DJ booth at this time. A girl was singing "My Heart Will Go On."
Oh, slay.
And we turned down the lights to have it be kind of dark, and everyone brought out their flashlights on their phones.
Oh, yeah.
And I just see the wave of flashlights as if like you're in a concert.
Yeah.
It was like moments like that are really just there's no way to explain them except for just being appreciative for the moment and enjoying.
I love that. What's your go-to karaoke song when you decide to perform? Do you have one or two?
Honestly, it depends. It really depends on the crowd. If there's no one there, because when the bar first opens, like people may not be there. I'll try things that I've never done before. I did Whitney Houston recently, or
oh, wow, nice.
A good go-to for me, especially if it's slow at the end of the night or we're closing down, I'll do "If I Ain't Got You," Alicia Keys. But if the crowd is going and we're having fun, I'll do things like you did, like you said earlier, super bass. Another one I really like is Black Horse Cherry Tree, because I can get the crowd involved.
Yes.
Get with the nose and be like, "Let me hear you," and then just get them to sing.
Yeah. No, yeah.
Exactly. No. So it really depends on the crowd, but those are just some of my go-tos. I'm also, as a karaoke host, I'm trying also different songs, and I'm trying to get better at some songs. So we were talking about show tunes earlier. There's a good karaoke version of "Defying Gravity" by Third Reprise. That's but more of a jazzy, bluesy kind of vibe to it.
Okay.
Different rhythms than the original, and so I've been working on that one a little bit. And it was funny because I recorded it, and also it was Roxy off the clock. I had a few drinks.
Right.
It's a hashtag, and I just kind of went crazy with it. And you just hear people in the background like, "Are you kidding me? That was it." I was like, okay, we got something here.
I just
love
really that. Okay, I would love to hear that someday.
Oh, that one's actually already on my Instagram.
Okay, well, good to know. I'll definitely go check that out. The whole reason we got you on the podcast too is because you recently have been doing some work with Kenect in Nashville and hosting some karaoke nights and stuff like that at Kenect, right? Like, how has that been going?
So I also DJ too. So karaoke is a part of what I do, but it's my specialty, but I also DJ. So I'm also part of a group here in Nashville called Beauty Boost Nashville, and they hosted an event at Kenect, which I was fortunate I got to DJ at. And that introduced me to Kelli, who is part of the events for Kenect Nashville, and she had asked me to do one of their pool events, pool jams, which was super, super fun. Got everything set up, and that's when it's just me. So I got like lights, speakers, my deck, everything, setting everything up. Met some really nice people there that one night who were just super, super fun. I am hosting their event next Thursday, where they're having like a Taylor Swift sports bar theme night. So I'm putting together those playlists and figuring out how transitions with a theme of Taylor Swift being like the focus of it.
Nice.
And then I'm doing another karaoke night. There's another women's networking event there. So it's a really beautiful venue, and all the people that work there are just amazing. It's really about the people you work with. So
yeah.
I'm really fortunate for those connections, and they're just wonderful people. I'm glad I get to work with them.
Oh, good. Oh, I'm glad to hear that. And like, yeah, Kenect will keep you busy. They'll, if you like have a good successful night there with something, or like say you're playing a gig there, or hosting a night there, like they'll call you back and keep you coming back around. So
I'm doing their
that's so
Halloween
exciting.
too. I'm already booked for about 4 gigs with them for the next couple months.
Good. Well, I'm so glad to hear that. I just have a couple more questions for you, and then we're going to wrap it up here. I was curious about going back to that balance. Part of this podcast, every guest that I have on here is just a hustler. We're out here, we're doing our thing, we're working hard, and a lot of times we just are kind of all over the place. But I think that what's important for me and for everybody that's on here is just like, you have to maintain that balance. And we might be going 24/7, and then like you have to do something at least like once a day or once every other day just to like recenter and refocus. For me, it's like, I don't know, like going for a run, or like, taking a nap, or like writing
naps are
in a
amazing.
journal.
Why did we ever get rid of those?
No, exactly. Whatever it is, but I'm kind of curious what yours is. What is that for you, and what does that look like if you get the chance?
I love to read. So
Okay,
I love reading. I was at the chiropractor the other day, and my chiropractor comes out. She's also one of my good friends, and she goes, "What are you reading?" I'm like, "Girl, I'm always reading."
Yeah.
But no, I love to read. I do yoga, like just stretching yoga. I also try to work out at least. I mean, for my physical health, I work out about 4 or 5 times a week. At Orange Theory Fitness. I've been doing that for like 5 years. I lost like 50 pounds working with them. They're amazing.
Oh, amazing. Well,
yeah,
I just interviewed someone yesterday that's an Orange Theory fitness instructor, and
I used to be a coach.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, but right when Roxy DJing started, I was also a coach, so I kind of did a little bit of that.
Okay.
But from like, I guess, balancing standpoint, what I realized is that, especially when I was working in corporate, I had a lot of my identity tied in with my job. Yeah. And so when that started to disintegrate due to just lifing, I realized, there needs to be more than just my job. There needs to be something, I need something outside of it. Actually, some of my old colleagues from the corporate world, we would go out to dinner and we would have this joke that after, like, how long does it take us to talk about work? And we would have like a timer of like 5 minutes.
Right.
And I never really wanted to get into that again. I go, yes, I want to talk about work. It's my job. I like it, but it's not all of who I am. And so prioritizing, trying and developing friendships that are friendships outside of your work, having community bases outside of your profession, and having a good spiritual practice. I'm very much a spiritual person, so there's books that I dedicate time to. I journal. I really try to take time to think about how my spirit is doing, and really just leaning into the guidance of what feels good. Spirit's got your back. You just keep on going forward. So that's kind of how I personally have developed the balance of the imbalance of life, because it's never a balance. It's just a cycle.
Right. Okay, good. I love that. That's amazing. Sounds like you've got it down to a pretty good science with all of that. So yeah.
I mean, I'm 35 at this point. I like to think to myself that I'm really just a 15-year-old like adult.
Right, me too. Not
So
for
like,
you.
I'm still working on it. Like when I was in my early 20s, I'm like, I was just a 2-year-old adult at 22 years old. Like, I didn't know what I was doing. I
Right.
still don't know what I'm doing. I've just figured out what works for me, and as everyone should.
Yeah, that's amazing. Do you have anything, like, you already mentioned some of the stuff coming up with Kenect, but is there anything else that you want to give a shout out to? Go ahead and like tell us how we can find you on Instagram, your website, anything that you want to shout out. Feel free to do that right now.
Fabulous. I appreciate it. Yes, please follow Roxy the Karaoke Queen on all platforms, Facebook, Instagram, as well as TikTok. And you can catch me at Miss Kelly's Karaoke Bar in Printers Alley on Tuesday nights from 7 p.m. to close, as well as Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from 3 to 8. Please make sure you follow that Instagram as well. That's another thing that I do. And always come back and tell me hello, say hi. I heard you here, I saw you there. Always happy to meet new friends and just have a good old time. And come by and hang out. We'll play a game of pool. We'll have a drink. It's always a good time.
Oh my God, that sounds awesome. Well, next time I'm in Nashville, I'm definitely going to come through, and I will definitely recommend over there at Miss Kelly's. So, because there's people that call me all the time trying to, I'm going to Nashville. Is there anything, that you recommend? So now I'm definitely going to recommend coming to see you. So looking forward to it myself, hopefully one of these days soon. Y'all go follow Roxy the Karaoke Queen on all social media. Be sure to follow me as well at Zach. And then make sure to follow Kenect Nashville, Kenect Phoenix. And as always, we really appreciate y'all coming and checking out the podcast. Roxy, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. It was a pleasure to meet you. You're amazing.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. You guys are awesome.
Oh, anytime. Hey, we'll have you come back one of these days. And from all of us here at Kenect, we thank you and hope you all have a great day. Bye.